Hi, YouTubers. Something important, something kind of damn important. So, I'm in the garage again at my parents' house. Guess what I'm going to be doing right now? You can probably guess. Smoking nice big ass cigars, the big ass cigar for life. Oh, the big ass cigar. The house of keeping. Smoking this punch cigar. Nice big ass cigars, the big ass cigar for life. Anyway, and I'm drinking some sparkling water, and no, that's not alcohol. So anyway, too early for alcohol. Actually, the majority of my videos I don't drink alcohol. So I got kind of a funny story. So basically, I was about to do this video. I was all set to record this video, and I was going to smoke a Grand Habano cigar, a lunch break cigar. And lo and behold, I happened to look at the cigar, and it has a crack on it. I'm like, okay, WTF? It's like, there's actually a crack on the wrapper. So I figure, probably not a big deal. I can probably just, put a little bit of spit on it, a little bit of spit, a little bit of saliva, and seal up the crack, no big deal, and so I toast the cigar and then I light it, and lo and behold, it falls on the ground and the cement floor in the garage. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, so at first I'm pissed, I'm bullshit, it's like, WTF? It's like, are you kidding me? It's like, and of course it's because my butterfingers, because my fingers tend to be a little bit sweaty, whatever. So, and of course I take a shower. No, I'm not not somebody who doesn't take a shower. It's like, my fingers are just kind of sweaty in general, so, or just kind of a little bit oily in general. So of course I drop the cigar on the damn ground, like, oh, God, like, God damn it, it's like, so then I pick it up and I say, yeah, it's probably too far gone. So yeah, so pick up the cigar off the ground. I'm like, yeah, it's too far gone. Yeah, the cigar has too many cracks in it now. And thankfully, my father, nice big ass dad, like the big ass cigar, Papa Smoking SE, he said, oh, I have a cigar upstairs you can borrow. So, because he occasionally smokes cigars himself. So, my father occasionally smokes cigars. So, thankfully, because that was my last cigar, it's like, because I got 2 cigars yesterday at the liquor store, and thankfully, he actually, lent me one of his cigars and actually gave it to me as a gift without charging me anything. So, yeah, very, very damn lucky, because if it wasn't for that, I'd probably be smoking a pipe on camera right now, a nice big ass pipe. But that was a pain in the ass. I mean, honestly. So I think what it was the cigar must have came a little bit damaged, and unfortunately, I just must have not noticed it. So next time I pick it out of the tobacconist's humidor or the liquor store's humidor, I'm definitely going to check it a little bit more thoroughly, because that happens once in a great while. I mean, thankfully. Thankfully, the place I go to has pretty good storage, and their cigars are usually not damaged. But yeah, that's a pain in the ass when you pay, like, and I paid for the cigar. I'll show it to you right now. Obviously, I put it out, but you can see. Like, well, really can't see, but basically in the middle, around the halfway point, there's basically a big crack. Obviously, the cigar has been destroyed now. So, but yeah, it's like, what a pain in the ass. So. I really hope that doesn't happen again, because that's like $6 down the drain. And my mother's like, oh, maybe you could return it, maybe you could return the cigar and get your money back. Unfortunately, you can't return any tobacco products in the United States, period. You just can't. It's a federal law. So it's just a fucking federal law, unfortunately. You can't return any tobacco products. It's actually illegal. So that sucks, It sucks that I had to, toss out a cigar and waste $6, but I'd rather waste like $6 than like $30. So that's kind of the shit of it. So kind of the gist of it. So the gist of it is I'd rather waste, I don't know, like $6 and waste like 25 or $30. And that's why when I buy a Padron, obviously I really, really, really inspect it. It's like, because Padrones are like a lot of money, a hell of a lot of money. So the bottom line is, I just am careful when I buy cigars to make sure they come, not damaged. And speaking of this cigar right now, this is not burning very well. I think it's because this has a kind of a shaggy foot. You can see right here, the foot's a little shaggy. Let me just relight it. So, anyway, so that was a pain in the ass with the damn cigar. So, but you know what? You really can't get upset about that shit. It's like, it's bullshit, because I mean, honestly, like other people have said, life is too short to smoke crappy cigars. Honestly, life is too short. So, how is my day going? Just trying to. Yeah. One thing I don't like about shaggy foots on the cigar is you kind of have to baby the cigar quite a bit in the first couple puffs because it really tends to go out on you. This cigar likes to be puffed about every 15 seconds until it burns through the shaggy foot. So if you're wondering what a shaggy foot is, it's basically the wrapper being a little bit more thinner, whatever, and basically, essentially, I have to smoke a little bit more quickly. And this cigar just might be one of those cigars you have to baby a lot more. Some cigars, like I've said, you really have to baby. You really have to puff them every 15, 20 seconds or they go out on you. This is also, I think it's a Lancero. It's a Lancero cigar, which means probably most likely it's going to have a tighter draw in general. So, and that's one of the reasons I'm not a huge fan of Lanceros is because they tend to have a tighter draw. They tend to go out a little bit easier. Yeah, this cigar definitely wants to be puffed about every 30 seconds or so, or it's going to start going out of me. So, kind of a pain in the ass, whatever. So, I'm sorry if I'm kind of ranting and kind of bitching about cigars here, but honestly, when you pay a decent chunk of money, because I mean, believe me, tobacco isn't cheap. It's like when you pay a decent amount of money, I mean, how can you not bitch? It's like because. I mean, because you're paying, a premium price. I mean, how can you not bitch? It's like, a little bit, because that's one of the reasons why I love the Padron cigars. Oh, there's just a truck over the house over there. So one sec, YouTubers. So yeah, I mean, you're paying a premium price. It's like that's one of the reasons I love Padron cigars. Is because they're flawless. It's like but you do pay a hefty price, and there's no way in hell I could afford to smoke Padrones on a daily basis or even a weekly basis. I mean, there's just no way in hell because, I mean, even the cheapest Padrones, it's like I'm still paying almost $10. It's like about $10. So, and the Grand Habanos, I'm paying $5 or $6. So, I mean, you're talking about adding per week, almost $10 for myself to pay. And obviously this is my personal account. I'm not glorifying or encouraging you personally to do, to buy whatever. I'm just saying this is my personal experience with when I go to buy cigars myself. So anyway. Yeah, but that's one of the reasons I really like Padron cigars, is they're really, really, really just effortless. Like you can just leave the thing burning for like 3 or 4 minutes, and it doesn't even mind whatsoever. But with this cigar, you really have to really have to suck it every and that's what she said. You really have to suck it every I don't know, every 30 seconds. It's so anyway, that's my little rant about how it's just kind of an irritation. So it's an irritation to me when I have to excuse me, when I have to excuse me, I have to baby a cigar. So okay, this is actually smoking a little bit better now. I think it was just that shaggy foot that just wouldn't burn very well. So another little rant right here is I'm not a big fan. I know a lot of people who smoke cigars are big fans of the fancy shapes, like the torpedoes, the bellicosos, the figurados, the pyramid cigars, not pyramid scheme, but pyramid cigars, excuse me. I know people are fans of them. People say, wow, look at that Padron cigar. Looks so damn cool. It's a double torpedo. Guess what? And this is something I learned through another YouTuber, and also just something I've learned in general, is in general, cigar shapes, most of the time, it's all for marketing. There is no benefit to a torpedo. I mean, believe me, I would love Padron, the cigar company, to make the Padron 80-year cigar. I would love for them to make it into a regular Churchill size cigar. I would love that. It's because it would smoke so much better. And when I'm paying, almost $50, it's for that Padron cigar, my tobacconist, whatever. I want a flawless burn. Can you blame me? Can you blame me when you're paying, the equivalent of a really nice dinner out at a restaurant? I want a flawless burn. It's and that's why I'm not a big fan of, cigars that have, there are torpedoes or bellicosos or figurados, because or pyramids, because all they do is give you room for problems. There's no benefit to them. It's people say, oh, they probably increase the flavors, or they probably, yes, it is true that different, style cigars, torpedoes might have a slightly different flavor, but all they're really giving you is for room for problems. It's that's all they're really giving you. So it's not gonna improve anything. Chances are it might give you a slightly different flavor, but not gonna really improve anything. So that's my little rant about that. That's why I'm not a big fan of Lanceros. I just like a plain damn cigar. Just a plain damn cigar, and that's all I want to smoke. It's and that's why I like, the Churchill size cigars, or the, if I have the time to smoke a Churchill size cigar, that lasts an hour, and a lot of times I don't always have an hour to smoke. It's or I like a Robusto, or I like, a Toro or a Grand Toro, because they're just the cylinder shape, because that's just easy to smoke. The whole fucking point is, I just want it to be easy to smoke, because it's supposed to be an enjoyment. So, So when, when a cigar gives me problems, I'm like, it's really a pain in the ass because, I'm paying money. It's like, imagine if, you're drinking, I mean, would you want your beer or your glass of wine to be a problem? It's like, probably not. Would you want your steak or your scrambled eggs to be a problem? Probably not. It's like, would you want your whatever? It's like, probably not. It's like, so again, I'm not glorifying you to personally smoke. I'm just saying this is my personal opinion, like my asshole. So, it's like, yeah. So I kind of want a cigar to be kind of easy because in my mind at least, cigars are a lot easier to smoke than pipes, tobacco pipes. And okay, pipes I can kind of understand. Okay, pipes will kind of always be a challenge. They'll always be kind of like a challenge to smoke. For me personally, because obviously there's packing, there's tamping, there's relighting, all that kind of crap, But in terms of cigars, big ass cigars, I just want them to be an enjoyable experience. It's like, so I'm not here to, say, oh, the cheap cigars suck. It's like, I'm not here to say, oh, cheap cigars suck, you should always pay, $50 for a cigar. It's like, no, I'm not here to say that. It's like, there's a lot of cheap cigars that I love to death. It's like, I mean, look at the big ass cigars, the Flor de Olivias, back when I used to smoke them in 2016. It's like, I used to love those cigars, and those were like, I don't know, those were like, factory reject, dirt cheap cigars. It's like, they were dirt cheap. It's like, like $1 or $2 a piece. It's like, and yeah, I used to love those cigars. I mean, Corums, I mean, I used to love those cigars. It's like, it doesn't mean I have to, pay like $50 for a cigar. But when a cigar is just giving me problems, honestly, it's always it's always just an irritation. Also, another thing that really irritates me about cigars, another thing that really irritates me is when you keep trying to like puff a cigar and you end up like inhaling a little bit. Always it really irritates me. You can tell I'm probably inhaling a little bit right now. Not on purpose. You might say, well, Smoky Essie, you're not supposed to inhale cigars. And believe me, I'm not trying to inhale. I'm not trying to inhale cigars. But honestly, because I'm puffing so frequently, you tend to swallow a little bit of the smoke. Which is always a pain in the ass. It's like, that's always an irritation. Because obviously cigars are not meant to be inhaled. For people on YouTube who are the tobacco smoke inhaling zealots who say, oh, all smoke is meant to be inhaled, it's just bullshit. I mean, bullshit can be bullshit, but it's like, no. You're not supposed to inhale cigars. It's like, so, if I inhale this, I would cough my fucking brains out. It's like, so it's meant to be savored and enjoyed and puffed on. The whole freaking point is, after 15 minutes of rambling, is I just want a cigar to be easy to smoke. I don't want it to be a problem. Another thing that irritates me is when you have to puff a cigar so frequently and the cigar ends up getting all mushy and hot. All mushy and hot. Like, this cigar is getting pretty mushy right now because I've had to puff it so much. And yeah, I'm not saying I want to smoke for, 45 minutes to an hour or like 2 hours, but I mean, I don't want to be puffing the cigar like every 15 seconds. It's like, but kind of you get what you pay for. I mean, like back to what I was saying, you kind of get what you pay for. I mean, I don't know, what the cigar costs, maybe, I don't know, $10. It's like, you kind of get what you pay for. It's like, when you pay the premium price, you pay out your ass like the big ass cigar. It's like, yeah, you get a decent, cigar. When you pay less money, it's like, you're gonna get a less enjoyable experience. I mean, It's not that this cigar is bad. It's not a bad cigar. It's just a cigar I really have to baby and I really have to puff it like constantly, which kind of irritates me, kind of pisses me off because, I kind of want to, sit here and, shoot the shit with you guys, shoot the shit, and, talk about stuff, and I kind of don't want to have to, have to worry about, like, is the cigar going to go out on me? And yes, I know I can just relight it, but the thing about it is when I relight a cigar, it affects the flavor drastically. So that's something I learned also, is every time you apply a flame to a cigar, it drastically changes the flavors. Excuse me, big ass pig, like the big ass cigar. It drastically changes the flavors, and at a certain point, it's just going to taste like hot gas and hot smoke. So, and that's just really not a very pleasant taste. That general, like, hot nutty smoke is just not a very pleasant taste. Also, you get like that metallic, like, earth taste, which is really, I don't really like that taste. It tastes like you're sticking your tongue to a 9-volt battery. It's like, not a very pleasant taste. So, I just want cigars to be easy to smoke. I just want them to be enjoyable and easy to smoke. And that's why I pick out things like Padron and things like, Grand Habano lunch breaks, because they're easy to smoke. And, when I find a cigar that's been damaged and, has a big crack, I'm really pissed off because, I paid good money for it. And I was like, I really wanted that cigar. I mean, it's also a waste of money in general. So, and yeah, I simply don't have the cash anymore to, buy like $30 cigars every day. But it's like, even like, the good thing is most cigars, it's like, they smoke pretty average. It's like, this smoke's pretty average, but it really does like to be babied, which is always a kind of a piss off to me. It's kind of a piss off because I always don't like cigars to be a lot of work. I think another YouTuber by the name of Pipe Friend CHS, when he used to smoke pipes, he used to say the same thing as one of his rules is that tobacco should never be a lot of work. And he was talking about flake tobacco, like flake pipe tobacco, and he was saying how it should really never be a lot of work. And that's something that kind of pissed him off and probably pisses me off also. So, I mean, it's not like it's a lot of work, but I mean, it's like, and also I don't like the sensation of, getting smoke in the back of my throat and, accidentally inhaling a little bit because it's really not good for you. I mean, cigar smoke is, so much harsher than cigarette smoke or like hookah smoke or vape. It's not meant to be inhaled. It's just meant to be puffed on. And, when I, swallow smoke and end up, gagging, coughing, it's really not an enjoyable experience. Anyway, so that's my little rant about that. So, aside from the rant about tobacco products, my day is going well overall, aside from the little, fuck up with the cigars. So, I might have another pepper video today, potentially another pepper video, not pecker video today, but I might have another pepper video today. I might be eating some jalapenos on camera. I know yesterday I did a video of me eating the hot banana peppers, and I might have some jalapenos today. I got a different brand of jalapeno peppers, not peckers, obviously, and just being silly ass like the big ass cigar. And I might do a video of me eating, trying these new jalapeno peppers, because these are a new brand. So, you know, sorry, it's getting kind of smoky in here. So, and I might have a video this week of me eating maybe 6 serrano peppers. That'd be fun, you know. So do a video of that. So, and I understand some people have written me comments. I talked to this before on my channel. Have there been some people who have written me comments with a little bit of concern, like, you know, are you okay with this? You know, you want to be careful with eating these hot peppers. Honestly, like I said in my video on, what was it, Thursday or Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. Honestly, anything you can get in a grocery store is not going to make you sick in general. It's like, you know, the peppers you get in a grocery store, not peckers obviously, but peppers you get in a grocery store, like, you know, in a can, like a glass can or a glass jar, you know, like banana peppers, jalapenos, or like, you know, pepperoncinis, or like habanero, even habanero peppers are not going to like send you to the emergency room in general. Obviously, don't sue my ass like the Big Ass cigar if you eat 100 of those and end up in the emergency room. Obviously, don't sue my ass. It's like, you know, but obviously, the general rule of thumb with peppers, not peckers, obviously, is anything you can buy in like a grocery store is in general just a, you know, moderately hot pepper, kind of like my friend Merch on Discord, you know, nice big ass merch like the Big Ass cigar. You know, kind of like how he said, you know, habaneros were kind of the original hot pepper, you know. Before people started coming out with like crazy hybrids, and you know, really anything you can get at your local Kroger, Stop and Shop, Wegmans, Shaw's, you know, Roach Brothers is not going to make you really that sick. It's like, you know, I'm not saying if you eat like, you know, 50 habaneros you couldn't throw up. Yeah, you probably would throw up, but if you eat a couple, it's like, come on. It's like, you know, you would have to be really, really, really sensitive. I mean, you would have to be like super sensitive. And like I said, there are some people, you know, who, like my mother, for example, you know, she can't eat any spicy food. She can't eat any garlic. She can't eat any hot food. She can't even have like a buffalo chicken sandwich. And yeah, there are just some people who just have a bad reaction in general to spicy food. But in terms of like your average, you know, like hot pepper you get like a produce section, it's not gonna like saying you should like I'm not guaranteeing you, and by no means am I encouraging you to, you know, eat like 50 habaneros. It's like, you know, no way in hell. It's like, you know, but anything you can get like a produce section, like a grocery store, I mean, in general, it's not going to make you sick. It's like, you know, because it's intended for the general public. Now, what can make you sick? You know, what can make you sick? Like I was discussing on Wednesday, or was it Tuesday? Maybe it was Tuesday. I was discussing this. I think it was Tuesday actually. Is like these crazy hybrids. That's the stuff you want to stay away from unless you're really experienced. Because that's the stuff that can actually make you really sick. Like even a ghost pepper, it's like, you know, a ghost pepper, I mean, I would be careful when eating that crap. It's like, you know, because a ghost pepper could definitely make you sick. It's like, you know, like, you know, a Carolina Reaper, it's like, you know, there are people who've gotten very sick from eating those. It's like, you know, and partly because they're not used to that crap. You know, they're not used to, you know, biting into a Carolina Reaper. They probably never had something super hot before, and they're like, wow, that's hot as hell. It's like, you know, hot as hell. So, yeah, I mean, anything you can buy in your local, like, Stop and Shop, Wegmans, Kroger, Roach Brothers, Shaw's, Star Market, you know, local, like, marketplace, or like market store in general, yeah, it's not gonna make not gonna make you sick in general. It's like, you would have to eat a shitload of it. I mean, you would have to eat a ton of it to make you sick. It's kind of like, I mean, you can get sick from pretty much anything. It's like, kind of like, you can get sick from pretty much anything. I mean, you can get sick from drinking too much water, believe it or not. It's like those stupid challenges on YouTube, those stupid like Gen Z challenges on YouTube, the people who do like the cinnamon challenge, or like the pepper challenge, not pecker challenge, but pepper challenge. It's just like they're just looking for trouble. Obviously, you're looking for trouble. It's like, yeah, it's like, you're in for a bad haul. It's like, you're in for a bad haul. So. But I mean, if you're talking about a average, like peppercini or like jalapeno pepper, you would have to eat a ton of them before you even got like really even remotely. I mean, like take me for example. Like for example, when was it? Was it not last week but the week before? I ate 9 habaneros in a day, and jalapenos, and I had a ton of garlic on my mashed potatoes. And I had a ton of milk. It's like, and I didn't end up in the hospital. All that happened was, I just had a bad case of acid reflux. It's like, so the moral of the story is, unless you're shopping online, with these super like hybrid peppers, you shouldn't be afraid of like, I mean, there are some people who just don't like hot food in general. One of my favorite YouTubers who I watch. I'm not going to mention his name, but it's like, yeah, there's my favorite YouTuber I watch. He just doesn't like any spicy food. It's like, yeah, he'd probably have a bad reaction if he ate spicy food. It's like, some people just can't handle it. It's like, it's kind of like a love or hate thing. You either love it or you hate it. It's like, and it's like, obviously the first thing you eat is a full-on Carolina Reaper. Obviously, you're just looking for trouble. It's like, but anything in like a general like grocery store is not going to make like a chopped up jalapeno on a salad is not going to make you sick. I mean, anything you can buy in like a major department store is not going to make you sick. That's kind of the bottom line. So I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying you physically can't get sick from eating too many jalapenos or too many serrano peppers or too many habaneros or too many, bell peppers, or banana peppers. But I think the point is your odds of getting sick go significantly up when you start getting to these crazy hybrid peppers, like my friend Merch on Discord was talking about, these crazy like hybrid peppers, like these crazy hot sauces, like that hot sauce I reviewed a few months ago. There was like that Carolina ghost pepper. If I drank that straight, oh yeah, I'm sure I would get sick. It's like, I'm sure I would get sick. I mean, that stuff is meant to be like a whole bottle that's probably meant to last, 3 to 6 months. It's like, it's meant to be consumed in moderation. I mean, everything in moderation. It's like, you're not supposed to, put half the bottle on your chips. It's like, it's just a bad recipe. So it's a recipe for disaster. So it's just a bad news in general. So anyway, that's about it. So have a nice day, YouTubers. Pretty fucking cool. Bye.